Hello there, everybody. This is Tim Green with Rattle Magazine. Welcome to Poetry Spawn Live, our Sunday morning open mic show dedicated to exploring current events through the lens of poetry. Thanks so much for joining me. Caitlin Bucksbaum, I see there. Chris O'Hanlon, good to see you. Thanks, says I'm new to Poetry Spawn Live. Thanks for joining us. Danny Mask is here. Hello. Let me see. Make sure everything's working. Facebook's been less pleasant since the change to the new format. But it looks like it's working. Okay. Let's see. And we got the Periscope and Twitter working. Okay, so hello to everybody out there. As always, Rattle is a publication of the Rattle Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit working to promote the practice of poetry. We've been in continuous publication for 25 years and are unaffiliated with any other organization. Hello to Kashiana Singh, good to see you. James Tassilo, good to see you too. Okay, and if you like what we do, please click the like button and share and all that stuff, because a lot of you came here because you saw a notification somehow, either on Facebook or Twitter, or and how that stuff works is that you have to click, and then they'll send notifications to people. If you don't click things, then you don't get notifications. So click the bell, make sure you're following. If you're on Facebook, somewhere, I don't know in the new layout, but somewhere you can go to turn notifications on. If you go to our page, it's one of the little drop-down menu things. Whether you're following us or not, I think you can go down and turn on notifications. So do that if you would, and then you'll get a notification every time we go live. Although we are really consistent. We do, this time for Poetry Spawn Live, we do, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the Rattlecast, and we do the Critique of the Week on Friday afternoon. So you kind of know what time to do it anyway. We never catch you by surprise, but it's still good to have notifications. So turn those on if you would. Now, we always start out with the poem of the day, and today the poem of the day. I just thought this was hilarious. Like, it's rare that a poem cracks me up, but I don't know if you've read it yet. This is Stephen T. Berg, opening poems from the candidates of the first 2020 presidential debate. So we get a poem from Trump and we get a poem from Biden. And Biden's poem's kind of funny, but then when we get to Trump, it just cracks me up completely. So I don't know. I thought we could all use a laugh, and I went with a funny poem this week. And let's play it now for you right here. Here we go. This is screen view for you. This is Stephen T. Berg, once again, with opening poems from the candidates of the first 2020 presidential debate.
Opening poems from the candidates of the first 2020 presidential debate. Let me explain the turbulence at the center of our...
Yeah, that's kind of quiet. I think I'm just going to have to read it for you. I'm not sure why it's coming out so quiet for me. Okay, so opening poems from the candidates of the first 2020 presidential debate. Let me explain the turbulence at the center of our gestalt. First of all, gestalt is an uppity word. Sorry about that. It used to make me look dramatic, philosophic. I'm neither. The center as qualifier, it's misleading, don't you think? Gestalt admits no middle. Not really. Geez, the concept's tricky. The turbulence? Well, you'll detect it's more democratic than chaos, almost manageable. I don't want my failure promised by the title to be irredeemable. After all, I still want you to visit. Because, well, I consider you very interesting, always have. And regards me explain? Not likely. Outside of a club sandwich, I'm mystified by most things. I've been empty-headed all my life, but I do polish my veneer daily. To think there's people like me in office. But now look, I've made this about me when it's about you. About your indistinguishable desire for meaning, your discernment, your wanting to understand and so live with some modicum of control, which is what brought you here. But as you've now noticed, I've misled you. I apologize deeply. So let me at least offer you some tea and pastry. And if I could be so bold, might I count on your vote? Here's the poem 2. We were in the crapper, but now we're fantastic. First of all, get your history straight. That last cheater took us down the stink hole. I've done more for this country than any man since Mount Rushmore. I can't even tell you. Most people don't know this, but I have a master's diploma in shower attachments. That's why they named the Hubble telescope after me. Thailand is my favorite carnival. I can beat anyone in hot dogs. Just watch. They'll build a statue of me with those other guys in that great national park, Yosemite. I picked the color of the sky. You're welcome. Finally, if you don't vote for me, Kafifi. I don't know. That just cracked me up. Thanks for Stephen T. Berg for that poem in the laugh at the beginning of the day. I really, I'm when poems are partisan, I'm not a big fan of them just because it sort of bores me. But it sort of got digs in both candidates, and I thought this was funny and worth sharing. So that was today's poem. And we'll go back in time a little bit and read a different poem too. But first I should say, let me put these things up. So if you'd like to join in a little bit, how you do it is you send an email with your poem if you haven't submitted it to openmic@rattle.com. Do that first so I can show your poem on screen. Then send me a chat message over Skype, Rattle Poetry, all one word. Just say, hi, I'd like to read a poem in the chat. I will see you on my screen here, and I will call you back when we have time. The phone works pretty much the same way. Just call the number 818-850-7727. That's 818-850-7727. Just let it ring a few times. It'll appear on my call list, and I will call you back when it's your turn. And I just go in order of phone calls received. If there's a lot of new people, since we have limited time, if there's a lot of new people, I try to move new people up first a little bit. And that's about it. And then for a while, we were deleting these after a week and letting them sort of be temporal or temporary. And I kind of changed my mind on that. And so we're going back to how we originally did it, where we're just going to keep these as archive at the time. The reason why I keep being wishy-washy about this is because I don't know how people feel about sharing poems at an open mic that's recorded. So we tried it where we deleted them so that you could, in theory, go publish the poems elsewhere if it makes a difference, which I don't know if it does. But it didn't really seem to change the feeling of it. And a lot of people said they wish they could go back and watch old shows. So we're going back. I'm keeping the ones where I said it would be deleted. Because we keep our word around here, but this show will be archived and I'll keep it up, and I'm going to do that from now on because it seems like that's better for a few reasons. So it's just nice to have a record of this stuff. So we'll keep it up, and so if you don't want your poems archived with an audio reading and on video, don't share it here. But if you do, share it here. So. We'll let you know. And if you already called in and you didn't realize it would be saved forever on YouTube, then just let me know you'd prefer not to read the poem if that matters to you. I just haven't come across anybody who cares is the thing. And so I think it's one of these urban legend myths where people are worried about it for no reason. Like Taylor Molly on our show Tuesday read a poem that hasn't been published yet, that's forthcoming in a magazine. And he didn't care that it was on YouTube, and the magazine doesn't care, and nobody cares. So I think we just have to move on past our sort of 19th century notions of publication and realize that there's different rights and different slices of the copyright pie and different audiences, and there's just no reason to restrict people from sharing poems on a video open mic because that's the way the world works these days. Anyway, I've been rambling long enough. Let's do another poem, a blast from the past poem. And then we'll get to the open lines. This is 2 years ago, September 30th, 2018. And this was when the Kavanaugh hearings were all the rage for Poets Respond. I think we had like 4 poems about Kavanaugh in a row. And this was the one from about this week 2 years ago. It's probably the most memorable from that. And I thought it would be an interesting one to read just because we're going through another Supreme Court nomination situation. So let's take a trip back in time to Kavanaugh. I thought this was a good contrast to the humor of the other poem. This is a much different tone. This was Susan Wynn. I want to burn the frat house of America to the ground, after Jennifer Weiner. Look, America, I have tasted you before, and you taste like beer. Pabst, Batty Bow, Schlitz, in a can and warm. You taste like lemonade, powder, and vodka, fire hydrant water collecting in sewers. America the beautiful, don't you look impossible tonight? A two-headed coin. You told me I'm sexy, I'm beautiful, I'm wanted, unwanted, not a 10. But here we are in your bedroom, and I'm a secret. I'm impossible. Do you know how to be sorry? I'm a snack, you said, and guess who's hungry? America, where are your hands? You should know, I remember everything. I pulled back my elbows and asked, how could anyone be sure of my face in the dark? America, you duct-taped my hands to a 40 and said, drink. You duct-taped my hands to a 40 and took my phone away. You duct-taped my two hands and said, do something. America, how could you? I want to burn all the frat houses of all of the America, all the ground. I want to America, the frat house burning. America, run. America, here is where the burning body turns into ground. America, you could. America, show me. Once again, that was Susan Wynn writing about the Kavanaugh hearings and the testimony of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford from 2 years ago. So, yeah, it's a blast from the past. I hope you enjoyed that. Now let's move on to the open mic. And let's see. I'm trying to look at your comments really quick. Yeah, so people are saying that they like keeping the archive up. Yeah. Although Caitlin over here on YouTube says that some magazines do say don't publish it online anywhere. Yeah, they say do, but then do they actually care? Like, this is a different format than posting it in text where it can be searchable, from Google and stuff. But I don't know. I just think the whole thing is silly. Anyway, let's go to the open mic. And who do we have first? Let's do Don Krieger. He hasn't been on in a while. Let's see. And if you could, Don sent it through a Skype chat messenger. Let me see if I can open it. We'll play it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that works too. It's easier if you send it through email though. But the chat messenger works too if you know how to do that. Okay, so let's call up Don Krieger. Hey, Don, how you doing?
Hey, let's see here. I guess I got to turn this on.
Yeah, you got to turn your camera on. There you go. Hello. How's it going today? Oops.
It's good. Thank you for calling very much. I just want to tell you, I definitely do care about the archiving thing.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I care. Yeah, I like that it's archived. I think it's a real plus.
So you want it to be saved. You don't want it to be deleted.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I mean, I want my stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I send it to a journal afterwards and they don't like it, they don't have to publish it. I mean,
yeah, that's the feedback I got. So we sort of had a test. We're both sciencey type people. I know you are, and I like to test things without just assuming. So I wanted to see what the difference would be, and there really wasn't a difference in the people who wanted to share poems. So I figured we should save them. I think we're better off that way.
I think it was a positive thing because it gets people to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. So what did you want to share today, Don?
I wrote this a tribute to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and as I said in the note, I didn't send it to you because it's not a poem; it's a flash lyric essay.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think anything this length could be called a poem, but we'll see. We'll listen and see how it feels.
Yeah, I'd like to know because a lot of my stuff is like this, and I can send it to you. I'd love to.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to prose, so. Anyway, let's go. Let's hear it whenever you're ready. I'll put it on screen. Is there anything else you want to say about it before we start?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, it's my tribute to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's how I wrote it.
Okay. Well, go ahead. It's ready for you.
Okay. Nothing is more seductive than privilege. That is why Native people, women, and slaves, the majority of Americans, were left out of the Constitution. Justice Ginsburg was a great champion of those stolen freedoms. Her untimely death elevates the alarm we all feel and not just those who loved the principles for which she fought. For whether rich or poor, white male privilege is threatened by equality for gay and immigrant people, people of color, and women. That is the reason America's goodness died at age 11. Slaveholders, industrialists, and those of goodwill who signed the Constitution murdered America's precious promise, freedom and equality for all, with the stroke of a pen. The Senate battle over President Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court will galvanize every voter with fear. Good and bad media alike will shout wedge issues incessantly from the rooftops. As hardship is greatest for the poor, fear will be greatest for those to whom privilege is most precious. You who are not male or not white are in the majority, as you were when the Constitution was signed. Reclaim your stolen freedom and vote. If you are like me and care, use your privilege for good. Please.
Thanks. And that was Don Krieger reading Nothing is More Seductive Than Privilege. I think that counts as a poem. That has a rhythm to it, and then there's some literary devices in there. I think that counts as a prose poem. I think it would.
Thank you very much.
Cool, Don. Thanks for sharing that. Bye. Okay. Let's see. Who is next? We'll do Spatika. In a minute, I just want to warn. I didn't warn everybody yet that I am in the future. So if I call you, there's like a 30-second delay as the stream slings around the internet and whatnot, and so I'll surprise you when I call you. So be prepared for your phone to ring out of nowhere. Well, it seems like I'm still talking to the last person because it does come out of nowhere, and also turn off your screen in the background too. Like if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching, Periscope or Twitter, hit pause when the phone rings and I call you, because otherwise it gets confusing with that delay. And if you're streaming too, sometimes the bandwidth is less if you're downloading while uploading video. So be prepared to do that. Let's call up Angela Gartner, and then we'll go to Spatika J.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Angela, how you doing today?
Good. You were just talking about how to shut off your video and everything.
Well, you did a great job. That was the quickest. I think you had the quickest trigger finger of anybody so far. That was great. I forgot to put up. Let me have to log into. Did you submit your poem on Submittable?
Yeah, I actually sent it to make it easier for you.
Yeah, I forgot to log in though. I should do that at the same time. So what was your poem about?
Well, you inspired me.
Oh, nice.
Actually,
okay.
Because last week, I was thinking about writing a poem about like the Venus possible life, and I was like, oh, everyone's probably writing about that, so I didn't. And then when I watched the replay of Poets Respond, and you were talking about it, I was like, I never write science, science fiction poems. I'm like, and I always thought like, maybe the reason why, and I know this probably sounds silly, but maybe the reason why we haven't, like, we have all these planets around us and we've seen nobody on them, right? Maybe we should look below the surface. Maybe because we are above the surface and we can live above there, but maybe people are living below. I don't know. It's probably silly, but
no, I don't think so. That's always been my, like with Fermi's paradox, or that, what's that? Is it Fermi's equation? The one where they, multiply the number of planets times the I think it's very, what would you call it? Like earthocentric or something. Like the conceptions of what life would be are very narrow to life that would be similar, that would be carbon based and and either using ATP and stuff for energy, and I don't know. So there's a lot of other ways things could happen, and I don't think we would even notice it necessarily. So yeah, I think you're definitely right on. But
I just don't believe that. Like there can't just be us, right? Why us? Why can they? Like everybody could see us, but like why can't we see anybody? Like we just can't be alone in the universe. I just don't believe
the universe is a holographic simulation. And everywhere we look for the first time, we're creating existence as we go. That's my answer to that question. But let's do below the surface of Venus.
Okay. Below the surface of Venus, the glowing rocks of the sweltering terrain can't breathe in the heat that rises in waves, but underneath the red surface is a city filled with inhabitants who don't disturb us. An elevator to enter is in the mountain rubble. It can't be easily found with robotic shovels. Dwellings with modern technologies, spacecrafts built with velocity to break free, long bony fingers grasp a television remote. The satellite images show the Earth's divisions. Their children squirm, looking at our human grins, or when our unintelligent rhymes begin. The parents warn them of floating objects, mysterious metals, and alien scientific tests.
That's great. Below the surface of Venus. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I love that topic of just imagining what what could be out there. There's this guy Richard. Is it Richard Hoagland? I always want to say Tony, but it's not. It's Richard Hoagland, who's like the face on the Mars guy. I love that stuff, even though I don't believe it. It's still so fun to imagine that. There's also this book called The Fossil Hunter's Guide to Mars. Of course, this is Venus, not Mars. Okay. But it's all these little things that like he interprets as like actual fossils, like in an old seabed, which I don't believe, but it's so fun to pretend, and so fun to imagine what it's like. So that brings me back to all those fun times thinking about what ifs,
Yeah, it is. It's a what if. All these years, we have to find something sometime. Yeah. I think there's something out there.
Yeah, there must be. I think there has to be. There's so many planets in that. Yeah. Great. Thanks for sharing, Angela. Good talk to you. Yeah, you too. Bye. Bye. Okay, and now let's do as we promised, and let's do Spatika J. Yeah, let's do it. Try to find that poem as we go. Hi, Spatika. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yeah, I found your poem already, A Museum at the Mercy of My Fingertips. Where are you calling from?
I'm from India.
Oh.
I'm from a city called Bangalore, and it's 10 o'clock at night here right now.
Oh, wonderful. We have callers from India frequently, and this is the best connection we've had, I think. You have a great connection.
Okay.
So is there anything you want to say about your poem before you read it?
Well, I am a student of sciences. Mm-hmm. I like biology, and so this poem was inspired from a news piece that I read that revolved around science. And well, I hope my poem conveys the rest of what I wanted to speak about. Okay,
great. Yeah. And you don't have to hold your microphone. Just let it go. It's good. It was kind of poppy from the static. Okay. So go ahead. A Museum from the Mercy of My Fingertips. Go ahead. I'll put it on screen for everybody right now. Go ahead.
Trees grow up in the arms of sun, and at night, molten stars flow through leaves. Singing sap frolicking in the moon's memory, it flows in rhythm and wraps its warm arms around unsuspecting victims. Sticky yellow threads push gently upon their throats. Laying themselves upon their breathing bodies, they stitch a grave before the sun awoke. The dawn brims over the bodies of two ugly beetles, wrapped in amber, waiting for years their needle legs lay upon one another. dirty green bodies in twisting fields, arrested in heaving gently, passion trapped in the amber's glint of sap, black shone through antennae entwined in heat. The two beetles were simply there, one heart bursting forth, never to know what will remain in hold. Perhaps they never caught sight of the sap that struck from above in the ticking hours. Is it better to be killed in sudden spurt and die with no remembrance, or be trapped in the hold of glass walls forever without knowing the last word spoken? I see more of myself hiding in their fossilized remains, in their ugly fairy tale.
Oh, great poem. Yeah, I remember this from the submissions yesterday. The great images, very memorable. Thanks so much for sharing that. I'm so glad you could call in.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, my pleasure. Hope you do it again. See you soon. Bye. Okay. Yeah, that was great. Let's go to Danny Mask. See what Danny sent today. Is it here? No. Maybe it's over here.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
Having the best day of my life.
That is great. Great to hear. What makes it so good today?
We took a long walk, and it was just beautiful. It rained and rained yesterday, and it was just nice to be outside and smell the fresh air and the birds. It's just nice to be outside. We've been cooped up inside, so it's nice to be outside.
Very nice, yeah. Yeah, it's great being out in the outdoors. We're going for a hike later today, I think. The air quality is finally good enough, I think, to do it. The fire's settling down a little bit. We've been kind of stuck inside, too. Okay, so did you want to do... Oh, wait, no. What did you want to read?
Let's read Thrown Dice.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering because it's for the... It could go for the prompt on Tuesday, too, but we could do it today because it's current events as well.
For me... my poems are usually not about one theme, and that's what I like about your prompts. Mm-hmm. And this poem was written right after the Molly cast, but last week they were talking so much about the impending doom of 200,000 people dead and all that, so that was like washing over me. So this poem has multiple influences, and so your fire, too, is in here. It's in the last line. So
oh, yeah.
My concern for death, my positive mindset about aging. So I try real hard to write about one thing, but I can't do it. So.
Well, it's great to combine. Yeah. David Kirby calls it braids, the way he combines everything together. He's making a poem as a braid. Yeah, I like that concept.
Thank you. Thank you for that, because all my poems are braids.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. I'll put it on screen. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, thank you. Here I stand, an old man, recklessly slashing at piñatas in a fateful air of finality, my rooted heart bathed in winter, exploring every moment of my life, my body a sponge that considers it ridiculous to spend even 1 minute in long shadows, aimlessly walking towards a bellowing coffin at sunset. So remember me as I chisel my name on a big rock while I shout T.S. Eliot's anthem, "In my beginning is my end," which is to say, as the smoke rises, hope is a vacant curse.
That's a really good poem. Thanks so much for sharing that, Danny.
That's a nod to Taylor Molly, too. So that was
and that's a good
dice.
Yeah, it's a good time to tell people too. A good segue that the prompt for this week on the Rattlecast, which should be Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, is a hope is a vacant curse. Which, if you go back and look at the Molly show from Tuesday last week, we made the prompt based on his metaphor dice set. So we rolled that as the prompt this week. So thanks so much for sharing it first, Danny, and adding the perfect segue to let people know.
Man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for calling in. Good to hear from you.
You bet, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
Okay. Let us see. Let's try this 203 number. I think this might be Kashiana Singh. I forgot to label it last week. Or, well, maybe not. That's not Cashiana Singh. Well, we'll see who it is. We'll say it's someone we talked to in on July 5th, the last time. And I didn't add it to my address book, whoever this is. So we'll find out in a minute. Phone's ringing.
Hello?
Hey, this is Tim from Rattle. Oh, is this, who am I talking to?
Celine Mariotti in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, thanks so much for calling in. Good to hear from you again.
Good to be back on.
Yeah, it's been a while. What did you want to? Was it too much too soon that you wanted to share today?
It's too much too soon. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me pull it up for everybody. Is there anything you want to say about it before you start?
I just wrote it because there's been an uptick in a lot of states with the cases of coronavirus, and even in our own state of Connecticut, which we've been pretty good. We've been under 1%, but there's been quite a few new cases this past week or so with the kids going back to school and people having too many gatherings, and so I thought I'd write a poem about it.
Okay, well, go ahead whenever you're ready. I'll pull it up for everybody.
Okay. Too much too soon. The governors in most states allowed the restaurants to open. Big mistake. The governors in most states allowed the gyms to open. Here's hoping. Equipment isn't wiped clean enough. Stay away so you don't catch stuff. The governors in most states open all the schools and universities too. We have a president who doesn't stand up for the red, white, and blue. He tells lies all the time. What's happening in America is a federal crime. Too many new cases of the coronavirus. This is all a big minus. People refuse to cooperate. Trouble is what they instigate. Let's hope we have a vaccine soon. Pray, 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 or we'll have to go to the moon.
Thanks for sharing that, Celine. That was Celine Mariotti with her poem Too Much Too Soon. Thanks so much for sharing that, Celine. Good to hear from you.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. Okay, so I've added that to my call list. Let's do another person who we haven't heard. This is someone we haven't heard from at all, I think, not just someone who isn't on my call list. This is a 212 number. It's New York City, right? The telephone is ringing.
Hi.
Hey, this is Tim with Rattle. Did you want to share a poem?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you.
I think I might be able to hear myself in the background. Do you have it playing still?
I do.
Oh, why don't you shut that off? Why don't you shut that off so there's no confusion? Otherwise.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I can't get my Skype to work today, so I can only read it.
That's okay. You sound great on the phone. But who am I talking to? I didn't ask yet.
Oh, yeah. No, this is Christine Baldino O'Hanlon.
Okay, O'Hanlon. Let me try to find... did you submit your poem?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's called Falling Apart.
Okay, let me try to find it. O'Hanlon. And then we'll put it up.
Okay.
But what was it about?
It's about the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the fear I feel of what it's going to mean, especially for women.
Mm-hmm.
The loss of any protection, and I guess I'm furious too because there are no laws that govern men's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, men can get vasectomies, they can do whatever they want. There's no reason to have these laws to govern women's bodies. I just feel it's just so wrong. Yeah. Women should have a choice, and it's just so wrong. So I know people say, "Oh yes, I'm anti-abortion," but nobody's pro-abortion.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that poor women or young women or whatever can't afford to have a child, and they want to, maybe they can't even afford to have birth control.
Mm-hmm.
And they just want to do something immediately. And I just think the government shouldn't be a government matter.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be all these men telling women what to do with their bodies.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with that. That's for sure. So the poem is Falling Apart. Do you want to go ahead and read it? I'll put it on screen for everybody right now.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. It's easy to mistake familiarity for safety. That's how the rapist surprised me, jumping in the elevator at the last second. He smiled to disarm me. Then he showed me the knife. I'm always cool in crises. I fall apart later. The good news, the cops caught him. Roe v. Wade was law. I could have gotten pregnant. I didn't. I'm always cool in crises. I fall apart later. For 40 years now, I give my last penny to Planned Parenthood. I pray for telemedicine, abortion by mail. All those women, cool in crises, fall apart later.
Thanks so much for sharing that. That was Christine O'Hanlon with Falling Apart, which I remember from reading the submissions, a very powerful poem. And this is why we wanted to do Poets Respond Live, too, is because there's so many poems that we don't end up publishing that are just wonderful and worth sharing. So thanks so much, Christine. I'm so glad you could call in and share that.
Thank you very much, Tim. It's great to discover Rattle. So this is terrific. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I hope you write and call in again soon.
I will, for sure.
Great, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Let's see. I think we have. I think we only have 2 people left on the call list. And we're about running out of time. So that's probably the perfect amount. But one last chance. I'll say it one more time. If you would like to call in, you can email your poem to openmic@rattle.com, or do that first, and then you can Skype me at Rattle Poetry, or you can call 818-850-7727. Let it ring a few times, and I will call you back. I do believe we only have 2 people left to talk to today. There's Joy Stahl and Gail Hemmen are on the list right now, which is kind of perfect. So we'll call up Joy Stahl, and I'll look up her poem while it rings. Nope, maybe I can't find it. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Joy, how you doing today?
All right. I'm in the middle of making a beef stew.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah, it's that time of year. It's starting to feel like fall, and a beef stew in the crock pot all day is heaven.
That's exactly what I'm doing. So I had to run for the phone.
Okay, so I have Sky Watching September 23rd through 26th, 2020 is your poem for today, right?
Yes.
Is there anything you want to share about it before we start?
Sure. I was trying to write about a completely different event that happened this week, and I just couldn't get it. So I decided to look for science news, and this is what I came up with.
Wonderful. Oh, yeah, the moon, Jupiter, Saturn. Yeah, we were talking about that with my kids earlier. They were like, what are those stars? And I had to kind of guess. I knew it wasn't Mars, because I know where Mars is right now. So I guess Jupiter. And I guess I was right. Okay. So let's hear it. Ready? Sky Watching September 23rd. Oops. Let me, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Look up. At dusk, look up. At dusk, look up through the atmosphere of the planet humans reside on. Visible. At dusk, visible. At dusk, visible in September's night sky, other planets in our solar system. Gas giants. At dusk, gas giants. At dusk, gas giants shine near quarter moon, Jupiter and Saturn exceptionally bright. Then seek Mars. To the east, then seek Mars. To the east, then seek Mars, outshining Jupiter as you look toward your sunrise direction. Night sky, beautiful night sky. Beautiful night sky filled with wondrous globes of gas and rock that orbit our common star.
Wonderful poem. Thanks so much for sharing that. Sky watching, September 23rd to 26th, 2020. Yeah, wonderful. I love. I take my dog for a walk at night, every night around midnight, and look at the stars. And it's one of my sort of recentering moments of the day or something. The peacefulness and seeing the vastness every day of the universe is really a wonderful thing. So I love sky watching.
I do as well. And when I lived in eastern Kansas, I had to go to my parents' house and then hold real still so the motion sensor light didn't turn on in the yard.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
But here I can just go out in my backyard, and there's very little light pollution here in western Kansas. So
yeah, we're about we're up a mile high, over a mile high. So it's about as good as it can get in California, where I am. That we have observatories around here for that reason. But it's probably better in Kansas. Well, thanks for calling in so much. It was great to talk to you. And once again, that was Joy Stahl with Sky Watching. Thanks, Joy.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, we have one more. Oh, wait, no, there's another person. So now the 360, which is someone else I haven't talked to yet. But let's do Gail first, because I mentioned Gail. Let me try to find Gail's poem.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, Gail, how you doing today?
Well, I'm pretty well, thanks, Tim. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Did you want to share the Serena Williams poem? Oh, no, that's older. What did you want to share today?
Yeah, I would love to share a poem, Tim. Thank you. And as everyone talks toward fall, I'm glad that there's rain on the fires. And Joy, I got to do some pumpkin pie baking, and beef stew now. Glad we're all enjoying the savory, quiet moments of fall here. Gosh, well, I was inspired to write a pair of sonnets by the news. And since I've been listening to Rattlecast, I just really appreciate everyone's rhymes. I notice a lot of the Rattlecasters speak in rhyme. So,
yeah, I noticed that too. I've been thinking about it. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of what we do is becoming more and more formally oriented, and maybe it's because I do these Rattlecasts and I mentioned that I like that, and we wish we had more, but we're starting to get a lot of formal rhyming poetry, which is nice to see.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's great to hear the place for this right now. And, I know wish rhyming could be a part of life. May I read 2 quick sonnets back to back, Tim?
Yeah, sure. You didn't send them though, right? So we can just listen?
Sure, yes, that would be terrific.
Okay.
I didn't send them.
Sure.
Okay, the first is after Amy Coney Barrett, Supreme Court, to the poets and writers now, zooming in for all of you guys. When the nation needs propulsion and more white culture, we have emulsion. For based on white power's presumption, a new Supreme Court justice takes assumption. What will she do next? What laws will she make? Will she take Roe versus Wade, wind it back? Will we be deeper in society's debt check, just as tides were starting to turn, be parentheses black? For a nation in pandemic outrage, how can we grant this old entrance new stage? We can't afford any more new monuments. From off the page must our new message be sent. For dissent is more than pure outrage when audible fire sparks off of the page. And paired with that is Racetrack, There's No Going Back, for Joshua Bennett, Morgan Parker, and Camila Aisha Moon from Best New American Poets 2019. And this is, I know Angela Gardner writes a lot about being a parent during the pandemic. A lot of other folks just in work and life and friends are dealing with this. So you as well, Tim, as parents face school and healthcare workers face work, wearing courage shaped in new masks, they meet each day in a new shared way at the virus cures new racetracks. We all have a horse against time in this race, running for new life, greater the stakes. Each of us betting from sidelines which will take, for a new kind of breadline vaccination will make. Now, as the horses race to racetrack to their new destination, scientists make hope through estimation. May each horse stand for an inoculation from the racism, virusism that brought us this situation. May we move forward from this pacing off the track into a new day we be facing.
Excellent. Thanks so much for that. It was Gail Hemman with a pair of sonnets. Thanks so much, Gail.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Take care and take care all.
Yeah, you too. Bye. Okay, we have one more person to talk to, I think. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. We have two more people. Let's just go a little long today. I don't really have any. We're not in any rush. We'll do there's a 512 number and a 360 number. We'll do both, but the 360 first. Yeah, Caitlin mentioned this in the chat, but next time,
Hello.
Gail. Hello. Hang on one second. I was in the middle of saying something, but one second. So, Gail, read it. Next time, try to send your poem ahead of time so we can read along and maybe read a little slower too.
You already have my submission?
I do. Yeah. Who am I talking to first? This is
J.L. Wright.
J.L. Wright. Yeah. Let me pull that up. And where are you calling from?
Bellingham, Washington.
Ah, great. Okay, I'll have to add you to our call list. But thanks for trying. I don't think you've called before, right?
I haven't.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for joining us today. Let me try to find your poem. Is it What Hate Produces? Is that right?
It is.
Excellent. And is there anything you want to say about it before you share it?
Yes. I'd like to tell people that what inspired this poem is the bartender who ended up committing suicide because he was indicted for murder of killing a person who was protesting Black Lives Matters. And it's just so sad that two lives are taken because of, well, number one, guns, and number two, just people not being able to respect each other. Mm-hmm. And his family was very honest in regards to making a statement about his death and said that this is what hate produces because he is a racist, or he was a racist.
Interesting. I didn't see that aspect of it. Yeah. Well, it's called What Hate Produces. Go ahead whenever you're ready. I'll put it on screen.
Okay. I'm waiting for it to be on the screen.
Oh, you're going to have to read it yourself because it takes a long time to get up, where there's that 30-second delay. So do you have it with you?
I can find it really quickly. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I should warn everybody that. Yeah, you can't read it off the screen because because of although if we wait 30 seconds, it'll pop up maybe. But try to find it in the meantime.
Okay. Okay, I'm going into my submission. I love submittables. Submittables, wonderful.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and don't even read it. The problem too, I forgot. If you try to read it off the screen, is that because of the delay too, I turn it off before you're even done reading too, which confuses everybody. So so find it in your submittable.
Okay. I'm sorry it's taking so long.
Oh, no problem at all.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
What hate produces. Amidst chaos, silence falls heavy like a gun to the floor. Like a gun to the floor, dropped by the shooter, dropping the shooter as he drops, not in self-defense, but in racist devastation.
Excellent. Thanks so much for sharing that. What hate produces. And an eye for an eye and the world goes blind kind of stuff. I mean, hate just produces hate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was J.L. Wright from Bellingham, Washington. Thanks so much, Jay.
Thank you.
JL. Thanks. Bye. Yeah, let me add JL to the our little phone directory really quick. We have one more person to call, then I'll do my Saiku for the day, and that'll be a wrap. And the another person is another person who's never... Oh, wait. I think... so this 512 number is also JL Wright from a different connection. So we're done for today. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Let me do our Saiku then. I like to do, as you know, a Saiku every week because I like science. And the main thing I read is science throughout the week. I read a bunch of different science websites and read abstracts and things. It's what I enjoy, kind of. And I think it's a fun way to share some science news. So my article this week that inspired me to write a little haiku was this from Science Daily, from the Academy of American Sleep Medicine. Is this: weighted blankets can decrease insomnia severity, and a randomized controlled trial finds that weighted blankets are safe and effective at fighting insomnia. And it goes to talk about why. And what stuck out to me is a suggested explanation for the calming and sleep promoting effect is the pressure that the chain blanket applies on different points of the body, simulating the sensation of touch and the sense of muscles and joints, similar to acupuncture and massage. So it was that simulation of touch that sort of struck me a little bit. I was also at a birthday party, at a picnic kind of birthday party, and everybody was just talking about how much they miss, people and interaction and touch. And I was thinking about, and some of the people, and if you're single during the pandemic, it's been a long time since you've had any touch. So I was thinking about that and insomnia and weighted blankets and things like that. So this is my little haiku for today. Over the months of quarantine from touch, a weighted blanket. Over the months of quarantine from touch, a weighted blanket. That's my haiku for today. Weighted blanket being a poor substitute for reality. And so I hope everybody enjoyed that. I'll have a haiku for you next Sunday too. As we mentioned on the Rattlecast Tuesday night, the regular show, our guest on Tuesday is going to be... one second, let me turn this up a little bit. We get a little background music. The guest this week is going to be Kathleen McClung, the first of our Rattle Chapbook Prize winners this year. A juror must fold in on herself. Speaking of formal poetry, this book is entirely formal. And everybody who's a Rattle subscriber in print already has it, so you get to meet with Kathleen after having read the book already. That's Rattlecast number 60, Tuesday, September 29th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And we mentioned that the prompt is going to be, it was based on the metaphor dice, and it was "Hope is a vacant curse." So that'll be the prompt for the open mic after the show. So if you would like to write a poem about hope is a vacant curse, then send it in to openmic@rattle.com and join in just like you did today for the open mic show. So hope to see you then. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you.